And welcome back to the season finale of Inside IUE Sports. I'm now joined by, from the women's basketball team, Addie Brown. You just finished your freshman season in the program. You're actually the first freshman here ever to earn all conference honors. So glad to get you on the show to talk about your season. So thank you so much for joining us.
Thanks for having me.
Well, let's go back in time a little bit. First off, just let's talk about how you heard about IU East and why you chose IU East. If you could talk us through your recruiting process.
Yeah, so I got in contact with Coach Moore, and it was pretty late into my senior season, so I think it was in the springtime, and I wasn't sure at that point if I was going to play basketball, and so when she gave me a call, I came up for a visit, and I was really excited about the location. It was, at the time, only 45 minutes from my home, and then my parents moved, so about an hour away, so I felt like I had freedom, but also could go home to do laundry and to see them. And I really liked the coaches and the players I met, so I was excited about just the people there and the program, and I really wanted to be a part of it.
And I was glad to have you aboard. Averaged double figures during your freshman season and really had a good run in the later part of the season especially. In your mind, coming out of high school, I believe Talawanda High School in Ohio, how would you sum up your freshman season that you just had here?
It was really fun. I am really surprised that I was able to accomplish as much as I did, and just having the confidence coming in as a freshman is hard, but I owe it all to my teammates for just being good leaders and for including everyone, and just they were a huge part of the team's success and my success, so I owe a lot of what I accomplished to them, and just the way they were able to take me under their wing and just kind of show me the ropes. So.
Right. So now that you've got a year of college basketball under your belt, what would you say was the biggest adjustment between high school basketball and the college game, or was there one for that matter? But.
Yeah, I'd say the speed is a lot different. It's faster, and I think something that was hard for me was just how many games we played. In high school, I played probably 20, 25 max games, and I think we played like 35 maybe games.
It was more than 30, yes,
yeah,
and that's actually a shorter season.
Yeah, which was a lot for me. Having 2 to 3 games a week was just a big adjustment, and I really had to take care of my body and, rest up for those big games, because every game was a big game for us.
Okay. Going to look at some of your season highlights here, including a couple game winners at IU Southeast and Alice Lloyd. What would you consider some of your on-the-court highlights from this past year?
I would say probably Rio was a really good game. I don't remember it very well, but I just remember the feeling of when we were up and they had to score, but at that point we knew we had it in the bag, and they were just trying to get a score, but we just kept making our free throws, and then we ended up on top, and that was just a really fun victory, a team win, which was really fun.
It was, and that was against the reigning conference champions, so
Yeah.
made it doubly fun as well. Now, during these highlights, we're going to show some free throws. We typically don't show free throws during a highlight reel, but we're making an exception here. This is a game against Indiana University Kokomo. You went to the free throw line 18 times, and you made all 18 of them. So hopefully we're not jinxing your next free throw next season here,
Yeah.
but just what do you remember about that game? Did you realize you were hitting that many in a row? Just talk us through what you were thinking during that game.
I honestly had no idea that I was making as many as I was. Honestly, when I go to the free throw line, I don't think about it, which is what you should do. We always practice free throws in practice, and Coach Selhorst always tries to tell me that I'm not good at free throw shooting, but I think she is just trying to motivate me to do well and perform well on the court, which I was able to do that. So yeah.
And finished among the national leaders in free throw shooting. So, if there are any young future Red Wolves watching, most free throw shooters I've known, they have kind of a routine or some key fundamentals. Any 1 or 2 tips you might have for any young future Red Wolves watching?
Yeah, I would just say do the same thing every time. So I obviously have a routine. I dribble the ball 3 times and then spin the ball in my hands. But when I'm doing that, I say my identity is in Christ. So, which is the main reason I play. I'm playing for the audience of Christ, and that gives me confidence and assurance that even if the free throw doesn't go in, it's gonna be okay. And it's not everything, but that just gives me kind of peace of mind right before I shoot. yeah, so I would just say have a routine and just be confident that you're a good free throw shooter. So,
Okay, and
yeah.
so far, can't argue with the results so far. Most people don't, they see the games, but obviously there's probably more time spent in practices and bus rides and everything else than
Yeah.
the games. Maybe some favorite off-the-court moments from this past season.
Yeah, so we had really great off-the-court chemistry, which is fun. I think bus rides and staying overnight in hotels was really fun. We had a lot of team dinners, pitch-ins. I can't really think of a specific moment, but just any time where we were traveling or just spending the weekend together, it was just fun to get to know my teammates and, yeah, just have fun outside of the court. So.
And in between all that fun, you did a great job in the classroom as well this past year. Talk to our viewers a little bit about what you're majoring in and what you hope to do with your degree once you're done here.
So I'm majoring in communications, and I aspire to go into ministry, whether that's athletes in action or crew or young life. I really am passionate about my faith, and I want to share with people what I believe in and why it's so important to me. So,
Follow-up question, if you don't mind. Have you had a chance to take any steps in that direction? Some of the post-graduation stuff. I'm just curious what experience you might have been able to get so far in that.
Yeah, so I actually this summer I get to go to Puerto Rico on a basketball tour, and it's the first time I've done a basketball tour, so it'll be fun to kind of combine my love of basketball and my love for Jesus. And yeah, that'll be a really cool experience. We'll be in Puerto Rico for about 10 days, and actually my teammate Bree gets to come too, which is really fun. So yeah, I'm really excited for that. Yeah.
That sounds like a neat thing, and we look forward to hearing that. We may have to have you back to hear how that trip goes. So, and then that kind of led into the last question, just about summer vacation. We don't want to give away too much to maybe people who are going to be guarding you next year, but things you're looking to improve in your own game to be ready for next year.
Yeah, I think I'd love to work on my defense and just my speed and just being able to keep my person in front of me, and also just like moves to the basket and finishing down low, and continue to shoot to keep my percentage up and hopefully have a better shooting percentage even next year. So.
All right. Well, we look forward to seeing you in action next year, and hope everything is a great experience with your summer trip as well.
Thank you so much.
All right. So Addie Brown from the IU East women's basketball team joining us here on the show. We'll be back on the season finale of Inside IU East Sports.